Welcome to A Century of Cinema. Today I will be exploring my favourite films of 1976. First up, Logan's Run. In a future when people are disposed of at the age of 30 under the guise of renewal at a ritual called Carousel, Logan 5, played by Michael York, is a kind of cop referred to as a Sandman, tasked with hunting down runners, those who attempt to escape their fate, along with his friend and partner, Francis Seven, Richard Jordan. At home, while flicking through this world's version of Tinder, he meets Jessica Six, a stunning Jenny Agutter, and when tasked by the central computer to track down a place for runners known as Sanctuary, he enlists Jessica's help. They go through various stages to escape the city, pursued by an increasingly unhinged Francis. You know, this would make a great video game. I wonder if anyone's done it yet. Anyway, Logan and Jessica make it outside and find themselves in an abandoned, overgrown Washington, D.C., where they meet apparently the only person left out there, an old man played by Peter Ustinov, and his abundance of cats. Okay, Logan's Run looks pretty dated now, but it's still a true sci-fi classic. The premise is brilliant, taken from the original novel by William F. Nolan and George Clayton Johnson, and expanded by screenwriter David Zalak Goodman. I think it has more efficient and effective world building than practically any other sci-fi fantasy property. And just quietly, I could watch Jenny Agutter in those skimpy outfits all damn day. Plus, you have some lovely Ernest Laszlo cinematography and Jerry Goldsmith music to enjoy. I guarantee, if you see Logan's Run any time before you turn 30, you will spend a good chunk of your late 20s with elements of it living in your head rent-free. Not to worry, perhaps you'll be renewed. Rocky, directed by John G. Avildsen, with a screenplay by its star, Sylvester Stallone. Rocky Balboa, an amateur boxer, considered a bit past his prime at age 30, gets a heavyweight title shot against champ Apollo Creed, Carl Weathers, as he courts Talia Shire's shy, awkward Adrian. But come on, it's Rocky, for God's sake. We all know this story. As a matter of fact, most of my favourites of 76 are pretty well-known movies. Not a lot of hidden gems here. So anyway, this is what I love about Rocky. Stallone wrote this for himself, so naturally he's perfect for the part. And he nabbed Academy Award nominations for both efforts. And the rest of the cast are also excellent. This is my favourite Talia Shire performance, Oscar nominated for Best Actress. She is so damn lovable as Adrian, and it is a joy to watch her blossom as the movie progresses. Burt Young, also nominated as her hapless brother Paulie, has some very good moments too. Carl Weathers is appropriately cocky and proud as Apollo, but it's Burgess Meredith, another Oscar nomination, as Rocky's trainer Mickey, which stands out the most for me. Probably the best of his long and varied career. However, when it gets down to it, the real strength of Rocky is that it just has some awesome, eternally memorable moments. That climactic bout between Rocky and Apollo is a masterclass of how to do a cinematic boxing match. And above all, it basically invented and positively perfected the now obligatory training montage, lifted to magical heights due to the music that accompanies it, the immortal Gonna Fly Now by composer Bill Conti, with minimalistic lyrics by Carol Connors and Anne Robbins. Try not to get pumped when you hear this. Alan J. Pakula's All the President's Men, based on Bob Woodward and Carl Bernstein's book about their investigation of the Watergate scandal, follows Washington Post reporters Woodward and Bernstein, Robert Redford and Dustin Hoffman, during the first 7 months after the break-in at the Watergate. They follow leads which implicate the highest levels of the US government and are spurred on by information from Woodward's mysterious confidential informant known only as Deep Throat, as played by Hal Holbrook. This kind of subject matter is almost guaranteed to make for a dry and, boring movie. But thanks to all-around excellent performances, some inspired directing choices, immaculate cinematography by the great Gordon Willis, and most crucially, a riveting screenplay by William Goldman, it becomes not only an authentic depiction of great investigative journalism, but a tense political thriller. Redford and Hoffman imbue the legendary reporters with a lot of charm and humour, while maintaining the integrity of the material. And the supporting cast, some only in one or two scenes, more than succeed in drawing you into the story. Jason Robards, in his Oscar-winning turn as post-editor Ben Bradley, effortlessly stamps his mark on every scene he's in. Stephen Collins as Hugh Sloane actually does some of his best work here in no more than 2 subtly powerful scenes. Jane Alexander, Oscar-nominated as a reluctant bookkeeper with key information, is almost the standout in her small role. But my favourite scenes concern Hal Holbrook as the shadowy Deep Throat, a performance in shadows and whispers, which somehow manages to convey the motivations of a man whose identity remained unknown for decades. These scenes also showcase the best of Gordon Willis's cinematography and represent some of the most compelling moments of Goldman's screenplay.
Cover-up had little to do with Watergate. It was mainly to protect the covert operations. It leads everywhere. Get out your notebook. There's more. Your lives are in danger.
All the President's Men was nominated for 8 Oscars, including Best Picture and Director, and won 4. Supporting Actor, Sound, Art Direction, for sheer authenticity I would imagine, and Adapted Screenplay. And it is hard to disagree, particularly in the case of William Goldman's work, which is also my choice for Best Adapted Screenplay. Carrie, based on Stephen King's novel, stars Sissy Spacek as Carrie White, a shy, awkward high school girl who, after getting her period in the shower after gym class, is mercilessly mocked by the other girls. The gym teacher, Miss Collins, Betty Buckley, admonishes and punishes the girls with some intensive athletic detention, and the nastiest girl in school, Chris, Nancy Allen, loses prom privileges due to her defiance and overall bitchiness. Sue Snell, played by Amy Irving, regrets her part in tormenting Carrie and convinces her boyfriend Tommy, William Catt, to take Carrie to the prom. But when hearing of this, Chris gets her boyfriend Billy, John Travolta, to help her plan a cruel prank on Carrie. Things are even worse for Carrie at home due to her extreme religious zealot mother, Margaret, Piper Laurie. Also, Carrie has become aware that she can move things with her mind. So, after a lovely evening with Tommy, Chris enacts her plan. Carrie is voted prom queen, and Chris dumps pig's blood all over her. Then Carrie goes freaking ballistic, destroying the school and killing almost everybody. But then she still has to deal with that psycho bitch mother of hers. Carrie was Stephen King's first published novel, and even though his work has been adapted over 100 times, this version of Carrie still sits very high on the list of adaptations. Definitely top 3 for me. And while there are some nice stylistic touches from De Palma, with an absolutely iconic prom carnage scene, the film belongs to its actresses. Amy Irving is very likeable and sweet as Sue, Nancy Allen, her polar opposite, as the despicable Chris. Betty Buckley as Miss Collins shows real tenderness as well as some really satisfying righteous anger. Piper Laurie, Oscar-nominated as Margaret, is chilling and perfectly extreme, and Sissy Spacek, Oscar-nominated as well, is simply outstanding as Carrie. Note perfect in every scene, whether she's cowering in terror, pleading for forgiveness, cautiously peeking out of her shell, or kicking some prom night ass. Spacek has delivered some excellent performance over the decades, but this is still my favorite. So, Sissy Spacek is my choice for Best Actress.
I didn't sin, Mama. No,
Say it.
I didn't sin, Mama.
First sin was intercourse. First sin was intercourse. First sin was
And the
intercourse.
first sin was intercourse, Mama. I was so scared. I thought I was dying, and the girls, they all laughed at me and threw things at me.
Finally, Martin Scorsese's Taxi Driver, written by Paul Schrader. It stars Robert De Niro as Travis Bickle,
You talking to me? You talking to me? talking to me? Well, then who the hell else are you talking to? Talking to me?
Travis is, naturally, a taxi driver in New York who gradually descends into his own darkness and insanity, while trying to woo the gorgeous Betsy, an absolutely captivating Sybil Shepherd, and rescue tween prostitute Iris, Jodie Foster already owning the screen at 12 years old. But Taxi Driver isn't really about what Travis does, it's more about how his mind operates, and how that, and the moral decay all around him, leads him from one moment to another. We know from the beginning that he's not quite right. He doesn't sleep, and he's clearly attempting to wear the costume of a regular guy, but he's not great at it. And as he slips deeper into the dark, all trace of his disguise disappears. This is my favourite Martin Scorsese picture. No mean feat, since he is considered one of the greatest filmmakers of all time. Not only that, I also consider it to be screenwriter Paul Schrader's best work, and among the best, if not the best, of Robert De Niro's 100-plus film roles. He is sublime as Travis. It is the perfect blend of his gravitas, intensity, edginess, and volatility. Literally anyone else in this role would have significantly diminished the impact of the film. Having said that, however, Schrader's screenplay is a truly unique, poetic, unsettling meditation on mental health and society at large. And when placed in the hands of a visionary like Scorsese, at the most dynamic point in his career, you get something truly special. Then, you add a moody, powerful score by the legendary Bernard Herrmann, his last score completed just before his death, and possibly his best ever. Talk about going out with a bang. And then there's gorgeous atmospheric cinematography by Michael Chapman, an excellent DP, one of my favourites, who I don't think ever quite topped this. And a fantastic supporting cast, comprising Peter Boyle as fellow cabbie wizard, Albert Brooks cracking wise as Betsy's co-worker Tom, Harvey Keitel sleazing it up as Iris's pimp Sport, Sybil Shepherd at her loveliest and most charming as Betsy, and particularly Jodie Foster as Iris. Jodie is one of my all-time favourite actresses, and this is where she first gives us a glimpse of what she's capable. I don't think there has ever been another actress who could have pulled this off at the age of 12. Of course, there have been a few who had the skill level over the years, but nobody apart from Jodie could so perfectly capture all that is Iris. So with all this put together, Taxi Driver rises to the level of masterpiece, and it is my choice for Best Actor, Robert De Niro, Best Original Screenplay for Paul Schrader, Best Director for Martin Scorsese, and Best Picture of 1976. Join me next time on A Century of Cinema, when I will be discussing my favourite films of 1977. Now, go watch a movie.